Hello, I'm Lou from Safe Routes to Schools, and I'm happy to be with you today to take you on a virtual walk around the block. We're going to review the things you learned in your last lesson about stopping, looking, and listening before you cross the street. Do you remember the video of the robot that had some friends with him and he showed you how to cross the street? Well, today we'll see some footage of a real live family walking through their neighborhood. But first, I'd like to ask you, why is it good to walk or bike to get to school? All right, are you thinking? Yes, the main reason is it's good exercise. And exercise is good for your body. It strengthens your muscles, your heart, and also it's good for your brain because it wakes you up in the morning and makes you more alert to learn. Okay, reason number 2, our bodies don't make any pollution. So when we're walking and biking, that reduces pollution, and that's a really good thing right now. So let's see, number 3 is when parents are driving along and they get stressed out because there's so many cars on the road. That's called traffic. So more people walking and biking reduces traffic. And lastly, we think that walking and biking to get to school is a lot of fun. We hope you think it's fun too. So the family you're going to see crossing the streets and crossing mid-block, they're a family, so they're walking close together. And what we want you to realize is that when you're walking to school during these COVID times, you're going to have to keep your distance from other people. So I'm going to share my screen right now and see if I could show you something. There we go. Okay, so this is just a diagram showing you you're going to need to be 6 feet from other students that are not in your family, 6 feet between bicyclists, and of course always wearing a mask. All right, now we're going to get to see some video that actually is going to show us the steps to cross the street safely. We had a drone come, a high schooler came and brought a drone on site, and it was really fun to make these recordings. All right, let's see what we got. Here's our logo. And it's going to be loud at first, but I'll... Okay, the first thing we're going to do is talk about driveways. So as you're walking through your neighborhoods, you pass a lot of driveways. And driveways can be dangerous because what passes over a driveway or the sidewalk you're walking on? A vehicle. And a vehicle could be a car, a truck, a motorcycle. And so you need to be aware that vehicles, even though they're stopped at one moment, they might move in the next moment. So as you're coming to a driveway, you should make sure you should check the driveway for parked cars before you pass it. Let's see what the students do. Oh, good, they stopped at the driveway. Now they're looking at the car. What do you think they're looking for? They're looking to see if any drivers in the car, and they're looking to see if the lights in the car are on. So if the lights are on, if the red light is on, that means the car's in park. But do cars always stay parked? No. If the white light is on, that means the car might be backing up. So you definitely shouldn't step behind this vehicle that might be backing up. How else can you learn to see whether the car is on or not and might move? That's right, you should look for a driver inside, and then you could also listen to see if the car's on. Let's see what happens here. I should bring up, see this big bush right here? It was super tall, and the family walking on the street couldn't see around it. So they couldn't see the car until they got here. This is called a blind driveway. Let's see what they do now. Okay, the car stopped and they just walked past it. Here they come again to the big bush. Oh, she alerts her family and says, stop, there's a car in the driveway. Okay, so the car is stopped, the lights are out, and they continue on. Now crossing the street safely. So let's take a look at this crosswalk right here. Does the car have a stop sign? No, but cars are supposed to stop for anyone in a crosswalk. So these signs right here are warning the cars that there's a crosswalk and they must stop if someone's in the crosswalk. So the students here come to the crosswalk and let's see what they do. Oh, they come to the crosswalk. The car did stop, very good, and they walk across. Now we're going to see it again. The students come to the crosswalk. They look left, right, and left again. Only when they know the car has stopped do they walk. They also make eye contact with the drivers to make sure the driver sees them. Here's another angle. Okay, the car is coming up to the crosswalk. It stops. The students stop and look left, right, left. She waves a hand to the driver. And they cross. Okay. What else comes on the road that is not a car that has to stop at crosswalks? You'll see soon. It's a bicyclist. Bicyclists must stop for pedestrians in the crosswalk, just like cars. There go the bicyclists. Okay, just to review, it's stop, look, and listen. So sometimes you have to look behind you for vehicles when you're on a street where there's there's an intersection where cars might come from behind. I think we'll look at this and then I can describe it. Okay, so here's an intersection. The family's ready to walk across this crosswalk, but they realize they have to look behind them. And sure enough, there's a car that's turning right into their way. Let's make sure the car stops before they walk. Okay, they waved to the driver saw them, and then they walked. Okay, notice they must have also checked to the right to make sure no cars were coming down this street, because they had to see if a car would stop at that stop sign or not. Do cars always stop at stop signs? No, you can't trust that they'll stop. So don't step off the curb until you know the car has stopped. Okay, I think we'll see this again. They're looking up the street. Oh, they notice something, then they back up. That's because the car is coming to the stop sign. Did you see how she waved the driver on? We're not ready to cross right now, so you can go ahead. Okay, here it is again. The car behind them is stopped. No one's coming from the right. And they're safely across. All right, next we're going to talk about mid-block crossings. So there's a few more steps in a mid-block crossing. And you are allowed to cross in the mid-block if there's no crosswalks at either end of your block. So you must have permission from your parents though, because crossing mid-block is definitely a little more tricky. There's more things you have to know. All right, let's see what happens. So the students looked at the parked cars to make sure no one was in them and that the parked cars aren't on. And then they stepped to the edge of the parked cars. Oh, a bicyclist coming, so they had to back up. It's a good thing they didn't step all the way out into the street or the bicyclist might have hit them. Let's see them do it again, checking the parked cars. They step off the curb to the edge of the parked cars. Now they're looking left, right, and left again. Oh, there's a polar bear. What's that polar bear doing there? Okay, that's the end of our video here. I'm going to stop this and stop this. And I wonder if we have a little bit more time to play a game. I think we do. I have to change something here. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to play a game where I spin the wheel, and whatever number it falls on, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, you have to think of the answer, and then I'll give you the answer. All right, here we go. I'm going to spin the wheel. Okay, it says it's number 9. Okay, your question is, what should you do if you are halfway across the street and the green walk signal changes to the red don't walk signal? You should A, keep walking at a normal pace, or B, run the rest of the way across the street. Should you keep walking or should you run? The answer is keep walking at a normal pace. You should never run across the street because you wouldn't be aware of looking for cars and you might fall down. So always remember, walking always only across the street at a normal pace. Should I spin the wheel again? I think I will. One more time. Let's say number 8. Okay, number 8. If you're standing behind a car, how do you know if it might back up? A, there's a driver in it. B, the back lights are on. C, you hear the engine. Or D, all of the above. Okay, yes, the answer is D, all of the above. Will tell you whether there's a driver in a car and it might back up. So I want to thank you for your time here today. I hope you get out there and walk, crossing the street, practicing with a parent or guardian. And it's up to them to decide when it's safe enough for you to walk and cross streets on your own. So we will see you again in 4th grade when we come back to your school to teach you about bicycle safety. So we'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.